There are just 5 things that I thought a 5-star steward ought to do. The first one is bring the tithe to the church. That's what I consider pretty basic, that we bring the tithe to the church. Now, there are some people say we live in an age of grace and tithing is old-fashioned. I got news for you. Those that say that don't even give a tithe, okay? I know that. The truth is, I think that when it comes to being a 5-star steward, I need to bring my tithe to the church and let the church board decide where it needs to go. The second thing, I think a 5-star steward needs to create and maintain an emergency fund. What gets us in most trouble is something breaking down. And I got news for you. Something's always going to break down. So I think the third thing that we need to do as a 5-star is we need to have a spending plan. Have you ever come to the end of the month and thought, where did my money go? Instead of it flying away, we just need to tell it where to go. We take care of that. We'll have a, oh, by the way, that word for a spending plan is called budget. I know you don't like that part, but it's a good thing. I think a good steward has a good spending plan. The fourth thing is that we have to support others. I need to explain that because I wasn't sure how to put that in words. There are some charities that I support. And the reason why I do is because they do a good work that I can't do. And the truth is, when it comes to charities, I check them out. I do. I don't let emotional decision happen and I just send money to whoever's making their plea. Another thing that God taught me over the years on that, I took away a little bit of money that I can grab out of my billfold at any time when God says, you need to help them. And when you got it, it happens every once in a while, which is okay. That's why it's there, back in there. God has taught me to be a good steward. I have to have a little money available where I can help others and I can support charities. And the fifth thing that I think is a good steward or a sign of a good steward is avoid making debts. Just do everything you can. Now, I know if you can buy a house without debt, God bless you. I can't do that, you know. 3 points. Number 1, God cares about our stewardship. You think God doesn't care? Of course he cares. Some people think, well, God doesn't pay attention to that. Oh, yes, he does. Why would Jesus take the time to do that? I can tell you why. He is not against you having money. He's against money having you. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what this scripture says. This is what it says right from the word. Then Jesus sat down near the offering box, watching all the people dropping in their coins. I had trouble with that because, you see, this week I reminded God, don't you know that the first of the month the bank sends the tithe in for me? You know. But I was a little leery today when last Sunday when I took the offering plate and passed it on. I thought, is God watching me? I tell you, he cares about our stewardship. This is what it goes on and says. Many of the rich put in very large sums, but a destitute widow walked up and dropped in 2 small copper coins, worth less than a penny. Now, why did Jesus set himself down by the offering box and watch what people gave? Because he cares about our stewardship. How much does he care? Well, he gathered all of the disciples around him, and this is what it says. Look at the next couple of verses. Jesus called disciples to gather around him, and then he said to them, I tell you the truth, this poor widow has given a larger offering than any of the wealthy. For the rich only gave out of their surplus, but she sacrificed out of her poverty and gave to God all that she had to live on, which was everything she had. I want to tell you, God cares about our stewardship. God knows what we put in the offering plate. He knows if it's leftovers or he knows if it's off the top, first fruit. He really cares. Let me give you a second thing that will help you being a 5-star steward. You need to understand that God blesses our stewardship. He blesses it. Now, Matthew 25 is a good story. There's a lot of stories we could share, but Matthew 25 tells quite a story, I think, about how God blesses it. You can turn there, Matthew 25, starting with verse 14. Here's a man getting ready to go out of the country, took his money, called in his servants, and he said to them, to this one, here are 5 bags of gold. I want you to take care of it. I want you to work with it. I'm going away for a while. When I come back, I expect you to take care of that. Okay. To another one, he gave 2 bags of gold. And to that one, he said, now, I want you to take this 2 bags of gold, and I want you to work with it and see what you can do with it. And to a third one, he gave 1 bag of gold. Now, the scripture says that Jesus gave, whoever it was, farmer, gave him these things according to their own ability. How many of you wish God had a little more trust in your ability? I would like that, yeah. Verse 21 and verse 23. Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness. He blesses our stewardship. Here's a way you can test God. Look at Malachi. God said, hey, test me. I want you to just check it out, okay? You're going to find him to be faithful and true. Test him out. And so when you give and we give our tithe back to him, this is what the scripture said. Test me in this, says the Lord Almighty, and see if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing. Just test me. You see, now there's a third thing that will help you. And that is for us to remember God owns everything. Now, you know that. Some of you have been in the church for so many years. I know that. You're not telling me anything I don't know. I know. Look at Romans. So then each of us will give an account of ourselves to God, everything we have. So what does that mean? Well, that means that if you have this little ministry, let's just say a pastor of a small church, what am I supposed to do with it? Make it better. So I'm the teacher of this small group, and there's only 5 or 6 of us a week. What do you expect of me? Make it better. It doesn't matter what the size is or what it is. Make it better. So you're working in a secular world. You're working for somebody else, and now you've been made manager. What does that mean? Make it better. Well, who said? God expects us to make everything better.